Hello my Seo Knights, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be talking about chapters 42 and 43 of Kagurabachi, and I'm just going to say right now they are my favorite chapters by far from Kagurabachi. I mean, you have amazing art, spectacular fights, and it really wraps up the entire Rakuzachi arc. This big auction that the Sazanami family was putting on. So without further ado, I want to get straight into the chapter because there's a lot of things to talk about, including, let's talk about Hiyuki and everyone that works for the government agency. You know, in the past, they were siding with Chihiro because their interests align, but you can clearly tell that Hiyuki wants to kill Chihiro because she knows that there is no other way to stop him, because he will not separate himself from the Enchanted Blades. And it's a really cool moment where Hiyuki says, look, I want to stop Chihiro, but we have bigger fish to fry. We need to stop Kyora and this auction and help save a lot of hostages, especially, you know, the little kid that was introduced a little bit earlier in the story, how his big sister was also kidnapped. We're gonna try and get them back as well. So a lot of things going on here in regards to that. We also get this back and forth between what is morally right and wrong, especially since you have to justify maybe sacrificing some people in order to think big picture. But I'm glad that Hiyuki at least stands to the point of like, no, we need to save everyone. We can't afford to fight Chihiro now, especially because he's on our side on saving these people. Even like her teammates were worried about the concerns of potentially losing the opportunity. There may not be another opportunity to get Chihiro and the Enchanted Blades, and the Enchanted Blade from him. But I'm glad that Hiyuki at least is proving right now that she's still committed in her mission. It's just going to take a backseat at the moment. So it was a really cool moment that actually ties into, and this is a flashback, it ties into present day, which is Hiyuki teaming up with Chihiro to save the people in the storehouse before Kyora destroys it and goes on a rampage and kills everyone. So you get a really cool moment here where they team up and they're like, we have to stop him no matter what, and they fight Kyora head on. You know, the space is dissolving in front of them. There's rubble, debris floating in space. Space and time are basically going crazy right now. And you get this awesome moment where right when they're about to strike, he teleports them out of the storehouse. They're on the auction floor, right in front of everyone who's watching the auction unfold. Explosions are going on everywhere. People are dying left and right. People are wondering if they should still stay in the auction because the Enchanted Blade is still up for auction and it's still being sold. But some people are like, no, it's not worth it. We're being blown up. And I don't feel bad for any of these people. They're literally in a black market auction selling people. So they are getting everything, and I mean everything, sent their way that they absolutely deserve. And then one of the best moments, and visually one of my all-time favorite moments within Kagurabachi at this moment, is the reveal of this new Enchanted Blade's power. And it has the power to grow flowers out of thin air. And these flowers, giving me a lot of Hell's Paradise here, are now growing out of the body parts of the auction goers. And they're dying as these flowers are blooming. Something so beautiful, yet something grotesque. Something that shouldn't work, yet does. And I just love that. This panel right here with all just everyone dying, yet these flowers are blooming. Because it's really just showing that at the end of the day, despite who you are or what you do, you're just going to return to the soil and become fertilizer for the next group of flowers that blooms. So some visual metaphor there too. We get this, also we get sort of like a reminder of, yeah, she's still in the storehouse. The little kid that was introduced, her big sister still in that storehouse along with some of the other hostages. And it's important that they bring this up because it adds stakes at a very important moment, because this is when they confirm that the storehouse is disintegrating. Everything is falling apart. It is not just crumbling. Everything will soon be gone, including the hostages. So there is a huge amount of risk for going back into the storehouse and being teleported back in, because yeah, sure, you may imbue everyone with the energy to bring them back out of the storehouse, but there are still that risk of, if you don't make it out, you will die, you will cease to exist like the storehouse. But you know what happens? Chihiro makes a declaration. He wants to save everyone. So right as everything is about to collapse, he dives back in. And it's a really cool moment where he reaches out and he grabs the big sister, the little kid's big sister, and tries to save her. And the chapter ends. And luckily, one of the best parts about doing Kagurabachi at this point is I've started doing it bi-weekly, so I wasn't left on a cliffhanger. We are doing it 2 chapters at a time, so let's jump into the next chapter here, where that cliffhanger is immediately resolved. We see Chihiro tapping everyone, going quickly. The auction is now in panic. Everyone's running now. They don't care anymore. Flowers are blooming everywhere, killing everyone. And we get a flashback from Kyora. While all this chaos is going on, Chihiro may die. They may not make it out in time. The hostages may be doomed. People in the auction house are dying left and right. What's gonna happen? We get a flashback to Kyora. And you may be like, oh, this is a very anime moment. It's kind of irrelevant to learn about his past at this moment, especially because we know that he's going to die. But the reason why it's shown here is because it is a memory that he has before his wife passed. And we actually learn that his wife looked down on him, on the type of person he had become. That she thinks he's a bad person because he put the Rakuzachi on a pedestal above his own family. And you know what? That's fair. That's 100% fair. I mean, if anyone puts an event over family or friends, you're a terrible human being. Especially when you sacrifice your own family members to make sure the event runs smoothly. I don't know, that's just awful. So we get a sort of his, I guess it's what he had coming for him. Very much deserved this memory returning to him and him realizing, oh yes, I was a bad person. This is just what I get. This is karma. This is my karma. And we also get a flashback to his father entrusting him with the family and all the responsibilities as the head of the family. And one last act of desperation, he screams out the panel. He's bloody, mask coming apart, coughing up blood. One of the most metal things to come out of Kagurabachi, I must say. And he cries out, but it's already over. Chihiro saved everyone, and it looks like his plans have failed. The auction does not continue. And right before everything goes to black, we see him basically falling for the last time. And he stands there with flowers blooming out of him. And honestly, it's a really cool final death. It's one of the coolest ways, because now he's dead. The other guy from the last arc, he just kind of disappeared. With Kyora, you definitely see a body. He's gone. And there's just a sense of catharsis because he was did all these horrible things. To see him now in a desperate state and losing everything that he loves, almost in the same way that he did that to Hakuri, is almost poetic karma in a way. That, even though he cast out someone and then basically exiled him, at the end of the day, he lost everything. And now he's by himself. And he's dying. And he dies, failing his one duty that, that was assigned to him. Because he was just an awful human being. And, I don't know, I just like this arc. I like how it ends and concludes. Definitely did not disappoint with the fights. Didn't disappoint with just the scale of the battle, and quite honestly, this is probably my favorite arc from Kagurabachi now. Did not mind the Cloud Gadger arc. I thought that was fine. I just think personally this one just did a lot of things better and hyped you up for the potential of Kagurabachi, especially when you're talking about different domains, and you know, this storehouse that can teleport between time and space. I think all that's really cool, and it adds a lot more to the lore. And if fights are getting crazy now, I just cannot wait to see what the other Enchanted Blades are going to be like, as well as the stakes involved with them. I think that's going to be really, really cool. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for my Kagurabachi chapter review. What did you guys think of these last 2 chapters? Personally, I think they were the best thing ever, and definitely what Kagurabachi needed to sort of invigorate a lot of people, especially when we had a couple slow chapters here and there beforehand. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.